Hello students, welcome to my channel Science Learning Gateway. Today we'll discuss class 10th science chapter number 2 acid, bases and salt part 2. We have discussed few of the topics in the first part. Which all topics we have discussed in the first part? Introduction, properties of acids, properties of bases, types of indicators and properties, reactions of acids and bases with metals, reaction of acids with metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates, reaction of metallic oxides with acid, reaction of non-metallic acids with bases, similarities between all acids and all bases, acid or base in water solution. 11 topics we have covered in the first video. Rest 3 of the topics will cover in this video, that is in the part 2 of this video. So let's get started. So these things we have covered in the first part, introduction. In that we have read about acids and bases, what are acids and bases, properties of acids and bases we have read, different types of indicators we have read, reactions of acids and bases we have read with metals, carbonates, metal hydrogen carbonates, etc., with metal oxides, metal non-oxides. Then we have read the reaction between acid and bases also. About neutralization reaction also we have read. Today we will read about strength of acids and base solution. We have read about the acid-base indicator, by the help of which we can detect whether the given substance is acid or base. Likewise, we have some scale likewise we have one scale for measuring the strength of acid and base, that is the pH scale. Okay, strength of acid and base can be measured. Strength of acid and base can be estimated using universal indicator. Universal indicator means it is used all over the world, all over the universe. Universal indicator is a mixture of several indicators which shows different colors at different concentration of hydrogen ions in a solution. Means with the variation of hydrogen ions, or the number of hydrogen ions, the universal indicator will show different colors at different values of hydrogen ions. Now we'll read about the pH scale. Okay, the pH of a solution is defined as negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration in moles per liter. This definition you have read in your previous classes also, or in the juniors classes. The pH of a solution is defined as negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration in moles per liter. And what is the formula for pH? pH is equals to minus log H plus. Okay, this formula we use in maths also. So this is the pH scale. The values in the pH scale, the numbers are from 0 to 14. 0 means the solution is highly acidic, and 14th value indicate the solution is highly alkaline, and 7 in the pH scale, that is the midpoint in the pH scale, 7 value gives us the neutral value. So the substance which have a pH equal to 7, they are neutral in nature. The substance which have the pH less than 7 are acidic in nature, and the substance which have the pH more than 7 are alkaline in nature. Okay, so we have the three types of division in this pH scale: acidic, neutral and alkaline, and the numbers in the pH scale are from 0 to 14. Now we'll see about the pH scale. pH scale is a scale which is used for measuring hydrogen ion concentration in a solution. Okay, it is used for measuring the hydrogen ion concentration in a solution. If the pH of a solution is less than 7, means more hydrogen ion concentration is there, the solution is acidic. And if the pH of the solution is more than 7, then what will happen? The hydrogen ion concentration is less, that is the solution is alkaline in nature. The P in the pH stands for potence in German, meaning power. Okay, what is the meaning of this potence? The meaning of potence is power. On pH scale we can measure pH from 0, and the 0 value indicate very acidic solution, to 14, that is very alkaline solution. Higher the hydrogen ion concentration, lower is the pH. Okay, as the value of H plus will increase, the pH will decrease. Now we'll see the three different factors or three different points. If the value of pH is equal to 7, then our solution is which type of solution? Neutral solution. What are the examples of neutral solution? pure water, blood. These are the examples of neutral solution. If the value of pH is less than 7, then the solution is acidic solution. So what are the examples of acidic solution? Lemon, tomato, juice, etc. If the pH of solution is more than 7, if the value of pH is more than 7, then the solution, which type of solution? Basic solution. And what are the examples? The examples of basic solutions are milk of magnesia, sodium hydroxide solution, baking soda, etc. Okay, so now it's clear. This is the pH scale, and the value of pH scale is from 0 to 14. 7 number is the neutral value. If the pH of any solution is 7, then it is neutral in nature. pH less than 7 give us the acidic value, and pH more than 7 give us the alkaline value. Now we will see the importance of pH in our everyday life. Okay. First point, our body works within the pH range of 7 to 7.8. Okay. Our body, inside our body, what is the pH level inside our body? 7 to 7.8. Even the living organisms cannot survive in very high pH or in very low pH. They can only survive in the narrow pH range. When the pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, it is called acid rain. I think you all know about that acid rain. Okay. When the pH of the rainwater is less than 5.6, means the rainwater becomes acidic. Then the rainwater is called acid rain. This acid rain is very harmful and it causes damage. When acid rain flows into the river, the pH of the river water, what happens? The pH of the river water will decrease, and the survival of the aquatic plants and the aquatic animals like fish, etc. becomes difficult. Means that pH is pH or the lower pH or the acid rain is very dangerous for the aquatic plants and the animals. Okay. Next point is, when the pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, it is called acid rain. Plants require a specific pH for their healthy growth. Okay, all the plants, means the soil in which the plant is grown, that soil should also have a correct amount of pH so that the plant can grow well. If the pH is very high or very low, then the plant will not grow properly. Next point, very important point. Okay, you all know in our body, in our digestive system, which acid is secreted? Yes, hydrochloric acid is secreted by our stomach. Okay, which help in the digestion of food. But if this acid secretion is more, then what happens? We suffer from indigestion. In that case, we get pain and irritation in our stomach. And how we'll get relief from that pain and irritation? By taking any antacids or any antacid tablets or some of that magnesium hydroxide, or we call milk of magnesia. Even we used to take sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is baking soda. Why we used to take this antacids, that baking soda and that magnesium hydroxide? Why? Because these are bases and acid is produced in our stomach in large amount. So this base will neutralize the effect of the acid and give us relief. Okay, so our fourth point is, our stomach produces hydrochloric acid. This is very important point. Which acid is produced by our stomach? Hydrochloric acid, HCl, which help in the digestion of food. What is the function of this hydrochloric acid? It helps in the digestion of food. During indigestion, the stomach produces too much acid, and this causes pain and irritation. Okay, when the food is not completely digested, that time what happens? Too much of acid is secreted by our stomach and it gives us pain and relief. It causes pain and irritation. To get rid of this pain, people use bases called antacids, okay, which neutralize the excess acid. Example of some of the antacid is magnesium hydroxide, milk of magnesia. Next point is, tooth decay starts when the pH of mouth is less than 5.5. Okay, what happens in the tooth? Sometimes cavity is formed in our mouth. Okay, tooth decay starts. Why? Because the pH of the mouth is less than 5.5 that time. Bacteria present in the mouth produce acids by degradation of sugars and food particles remaining in the mouth after eating. The best way to prevent this is to clean the mouth after eating food. And how we used to clean our teeth by using the toothpaste, which are generally basic in nature, and they neutralize the effect of acid in our mouth and prevent tooth decay. Okay. Next point is self-defense by animals and plants. Okay. What is this? This is honeybee. What happens when honeybees sting us? Yes, we get pain and irritation in our skin. Why we get that pain and irritation in our skin? Because the acid which the honeybee give to our skin while stinging is, which type of acid is given by the honeybee? Which acid? Methanoic acid. Okay, methanoic acid. Methanoic acid. Methanoic acid. Bee sting, when it stings us, it leaves an acid in our skin and it causes pain and irritation. And how we will get relief from this pain? By using a mild base like baking soda on the sting area. When we will apply that baking soda in the skin, it will give us relief. Okay. Likewise, this is the leaves of a nettle plant. This nettle plants are very stinging in nature. If we will come in contact with this nettle leaves, it will also give pain and irritation to our skin. This nettle plant also secretes an acid. Which acid is secreted by this nettle plant? Methanoic acid. This plant also secretes methanoic acid, and this acid also gives us pain and irritation in our skin. And how we'll get relief from this pain and irritation? By using any base like baking soda, etc. Okay. So both the honeybee and the nettle leaves, they secrete which type of acid? Methanoic acid, and we can get relief from these acids by using the bases like baking soda, etc. Now we'll have a look on some of the naturally occurring acids. Okay, and we'll see in which of the fruits or vegetable which type of acid is present. In vinegar, which acid is present? Acetic acid. Okay, vinegar contains acetic acid. Orange contain which type of acid? Citric acid. Tamarind contains which acid? Tartaric acid. Tomato contains which acid? Oxalic acid. In the curd, which acid is present? Lactic acid. And in lemon, which acid is present? Citric acid. Ant sting can give us methanoic acid. Ant sting give us methanoic acid. And nettle leaves also give us which acid? Methanoic acid. So you should learn this table. Okay, this is very important from your exam point of view. 1 marks question like that you can get. Which acid is present in tamarind? Which acid is present in ant sting? Which acid is present in curd? So you should remember this table. Okay. Next, last topic of this chapter, we'll read about more about salts. Okay, so what are salts? Salts we have read, when acid and bases are reacted together, we get salt and water. The salts are the compound formed by the reaction of acids and bases. Example, NaCl, sodium chloride, NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate, Na2CO3, sodium carbonate. These are the examples of the salts. The salts are the compounds which are formed by the reaction of acids and bases. Now we'll read about the first salt, common salt. Do you know which salt we use in our home or in the kitchen, in the foods? What is the name of that salt? Not that tartar salt or iodized salt, not that. The chemical name of the salt which we use in our kitchen or in the food is sodium chloride, and the common name of that salt is common salt. This salt we use in our kitchen for in our everyday life. Now we'll see how this salt is formed. It is formed by the reaction of sodium hydroxide, NaOH. It is formed by the reaction of sodium hydroxide, NaOH, and baking soda, NaOH, and hydrochloric acid. Okay, it is formed by the reaction of sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid, HCl. Oh, I have given that. It is formed by the reaction of sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. It is used for making sodium hydroxide, baking soda, washing soda, baking powder, and many more. Now let's have a look on the reaction. NaOH plus HCl give us NaCl plus H2O. The bond between Na and OH will break, and the bond between hydrogen and chlorine will break. Na will combine with Cl and it will give us the product NaCl, sodium chloride. OH and H will combine and it will give us the product H2O. Okay, so how sodium chloride is formed? It is formed by the reaction of sodium hydroxide with hydrochloric acid. This sodium chloride, NaCl, it is used for making many other salts like sodium hydroxide, baking soda, washing soda, baking powder, and many more. Now we will study about sodium hydroxide, NaOH. It is a base. Sodium hydroxide is a base. When electricity is passed through an aqueous solution of sodium chloride called brine, it decomposes to form sodium hydroxide. The process is called chlor-alkali process. Okay, why this process is called chlor-alkali process? Because in this process chlorine is formed and alkali NaOH is formed in this reaction. Okay, when electricity is passed through an aqueous solution of sodium chloride called brine, it decomposes to form sodium hydroxide. Means when we will pass electricity through NaCl, it will decompose to give us sodium hydroxide, chlorine, etc. Okay, and the process is called chlor-alkali process. The diagram of this process is very important. You should practice this diagram. And why this process is called chlor-alkali process? Because chlorine is formed and alkali, that is sodium hydroxide, is formed. Okay, in this product, what byproducts we are getting? Sodium hydroxide, chlorine, and hydrogen. Okay, now next is our bleaching powder. What is the formula of bleaching powder? CaOCl2. Very important. Okay, you should remember the formula of bleaching powder. CaOCl2. What is the chemical name of this bleaching powder? Calcium oxychloride. Okay, calcium oxychloride. Now we'll see how it is formed. It is produced by the action of chlorine on dry slaked lime. When chlorine will react with dry slaked lime, that is calcium hydroxide, what we will get? Calcium oxychloride, bleaching powder plus H2O. Okay, you should remember this reaction. Calcium hydroxide will react with chlorine to give calcium oxychloride plus H2O. Next, we'll see the uses of bleaching powder. What are the different uses of bleaching powder? It is used as a bleaching agent in textile industry, paper industry, and in laundry. Okay, the first use of bleaching powder is it's used as a bleaching agent in textile industry, paper industry, and laundry. Second use is it is used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries as it contains oxygen. Okay, so it is used as an oxidizing agent which gives oxygen in to prepare many other substances in the chemical industries. It is used for making drinking water free from germs. You have seen in your house, sometimes we use this bleaching powder to kill the germs in the water. Okay, so it is used for making drinking water free from germs. These are the three uses of bleaching powder. It is used as a bleaching agent, it is used as an oxidizing agent, it is used for killing the germs. So it is used as a disinfectant also. Now we'll read about baking soda. So what is the formula of baking soda? NaHCO3. And what is the chemical name of this baking soda? Sodium hydrogen carbonate. Now we'll see how it is prepared. The chemical name of baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate. You should remember the common name, the chemical name, and the formula of baking soda. It is produced by the reaction of sodium chloride with water, carbon dioxide, and ammonia. It is produced by the reaction of sodium chloride with water, carbon dioxide, and ammonia. Okay, we will react these substances: sodium chloride, water, carbon dioxide, and ammonia. If these four reactants will react together, what we will get? Ammonium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate. This is our baking soda. Okay, so this is the reaction for preparation of baking soda. The raw material used for preparing baking soda is sodium chloride, water, carbon dioxide, and ammonia. The following reaction takes place when baking soda is heated during cooking. Okay, when baking soda, we use baking soda for cooking purposes. Okay, there are many other uses also, but the first use is it is used in the kitchen or in the cooking process. When baking soda is heated, what happens? This baking soda changes into sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, CO2, H2O, and CO2. Carbon dioxide is released in this process, and this carbon dioxide gas is responsible for making the cakes and the breads fluffy, soft and spongy. Because of the release of the CO2 gas, the breads and the cakes become soft and fluffy. Okay, the size of the breads and the cakes increases. It becomes soft and spongy. Now we'll see the uses of baking soda. It is used for making baking powder. You all have heard about baking powder. It is used for making the cakes. Okay, baking powder is used for making the cakes. It is also prepared by using baking soda. It is used for making cakes and bread spongy and soft. What is this baking powder? It is a mixture of baking soda and tartaric acid. Okay, baking soda is a mixture of baking powder is a mixture of baking soda plus tartaric acid. Okay, baking powder is a mixture of baking soda plus tartaric acid and is used for making cake and bread spongy and soft. Next use of baking soda is it is used as an anti-acid. It is used as an anti-acid. What is anti-acid? Yes, antacids are those substances which are used during indigestion. They give us relief from pain and acidity. Okay. It is also used in soda acid fire extinguisher. Okay, baking soda is also used in soda acid fire extinguisher. So these are the three uses of baking soda. It is used in baking powder. It is used for making baking powder. It is used for making cakes, bread spongy and fluffy. It is used as an antacid and it is used in soda acid fire extinguisher. Next we will read about washing soda. Okay, washing soda. What is the formula of washing soda? Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. 10H2O is the water molecule. It is used as what it is known as water of crystallization. 10 units of water of crystallization is attached with sodium carbonate. It is formed by heating baking soda. Recrystallization of sodium carbonate gives washing soda. How it is formed? When we will heat baking soda, when we will heat this baking soda, what we are getting? Sodium carbonate. And when we will recrystallize the sodium carbonate, we will get washing soda. Means when we will add 10 molecules of water to it, we will get sodium carbonate Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. Okay. Uses of washing soda. So there are many uses of washing soda. It is used in glass, soap and paper industry. It is used in the manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax. Okay. It is also used in the manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax. This borax is used in medicines, etc. Okay. It can be used for cleaning agents for domestic purpose. In our house also for cleaning the clothes and many other things we use this washing soda. It is used for removing permanent hardness of water. You know what? Hardness of water is of two types. One is permanent and other one is temporary. So permanent hardness of water can be removed by this washing soda. Next we'll read about water of crystallization. What is water of crystallization? We have seen in that formula of washing soda that 10 molecules of water of crystallization are attached in that. So what is water of crystallization? That we'll see. It is the fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. Okay. What is water of crystallization? Water of crystallization is fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. Chemical formula of hydrated copper sulfate is CuSO4.5H2O. This 5H2O is our water of crystallization. 5 water molecules are present in one formula unit of copper sulfate. In the washing soda formula also we have seen 10 molecules of water of crystallization is present. Next we'll read about plaster of Paris. It is very important topic from your chapter. Plaster of Paris. What is the formula for plaster of Paris? CaSO4.5H2O. What is the chemical name of this plaster of Paris? Calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Hemi for half. Okay. Calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Now we will see how it is formed. How plaster of Paris is formed. On heating gypsum. What is this gypsum? What is the formula of this gypsum? CaSO4.2H2O. Calcium sulfate dihydrate. Okay. On heating gypsum at 373 Kelvin, it loses water molecules and become calcium sulfate hemihydrate. So plaster of Paris is prepared from gypsum by heating it at a temperature of 373 Kelvin. This is called plaster of Paris. It is a white powder and on mixing with water it changes to gypsum. Okay. When we will heat gypsum at 373 Kelvin, it loses water molecule and it will form calcium sulfate hemihydrate, plaster of Paris. But if we will add water molecule into this plaster of Paris, it will again change into gypsum. CaSO4 dot half H2O gives plus 1.5 H2O gives gypsum. So you should remember this reaction. Yeah, you can in an exam you can write the reaction to prepare gypsum from plaster of Paris. You have to write this reaction. Half water molecule is there, 1.5 water molecules we have added to it and it became 2H2O. Now we'll see the uses of plaster of Paris. First use, it is used in the surgery for setting broken or fractured bones. Okay, you have seen in the hospitals that doctors use this plaster of Paris for fixing the bones in the correct position. Okay, during the surgery or in the fractured bones, they use this plaster of Paris to fix them in the correct position. Next one, it is used for making casts for statues in dentistry and for surgical instruments and toys, etc. Okay, it is also used for making the statues, toys, many other decorative items, etc. It is used in making blackboard chalks and statues. Okay, it is also used for making blackboard chalks and statues. Next, it is used in construction industry also. It is used for making the walls smooth. Okay, for making the walls smooth and all, plaster of Paris is used. So we have completed all the topics from this chapter, acid and base. Let's have a quick revision on what all we have read today. We have read about that pH scale. It ranged from 0 to 14. pH at 7 is the neutral solution, pH less than 7 is the acidic solution, and pH more than 7 is alkaline in nature. Next, what we have read, importance of pH in everyday life. So pH is very important for us in our everyday life. Means our body also work within the pH range of 7 to 7.8. Means if the pH of our mouth is less than 5.5, then tooth decay occurs. Our stomach releases hydrochloric acid, etc. We have read in this topic. We have also read about some naturally occurring acid like vinegar, orange, tamarind, tomato, curd, lemon, etc. They all contains acid. Next, we have read about the salts. In the salts, what we have read? Common salt, that is sodium chloride. About sodium hydroxide also we have read. About bleaching powder also we have read. Bleaching powder, its uses. About baking soda and its uses we have read. About washing soda, its uses we have read. Next, we have read about water of crystallization. Okay. And at last topic of this chapter is plaster of Paris. What is the formula of plaster of Paris? CaSO4 dot half H2O and chemical name is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. And how it is prepared? It is prepared by heating gypsum at 373 Kelvin. And how we can make gypsum from plaster of Paris? By adding water molecules in it, we can make gypsum from plaster of Paris. And what are the different uses of plaster of Paris? It is used in surgery and it is used by the doctors to fix the bones in the correct position. It is used for making statues, it is used for making decorative items, it is used for making blackboard chalks and statues also, and it is also used in the construction industry for making the walls smooth. Okay, that's all. Students, we have completed your second chapter, that is acid, bases and salts. If you have any doubt, please let me know and do comment in the comment box. Go through the chapter, read the chapter properly, and if you feel any doubt, please comment in the comment box so that I can clear your doubt. Thank you for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe my channel, Science Learning Gateway. Our next video will be on our third chapter of science, that is metals and non-metals. So keep updating with this channel. Thank you.